Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Polk County Board of Commissioners. It's April 27th, 2022. Extra announcements are on, or agendas are on the back table. And looking for approval of agenda.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Not going to take comments.
And I'm going to back up just for a moment. How about comments that are not on this? None today? Thank you. And welcome everybody for coming. Looking for approval of minutes of April 20th.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimous. And approval of consent calendar.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And sorry for the excitement when I skipped comments, but we have Abby Warren here from Family Community Outreach. She's going to give us an update on mental health awareness discussion.
Thank you. Nicole is just going to pull up my couple of slides. Be ready for you. Perfect. Great. Well, thank you for having me. I'm really happy to be here to just give an update about all of the things that we're doing for May and beyond in mental health and suicide prevention world. There's lots of really interesting data that's coming out about mental health in young people and adults across the lifespan. So I love to just be here to present really briefly about some of the things we're doing. I've included a quick PDF of our little calendar for the month. I also have some copies here. So if anybody would like to know kind of what community events and things are happening, I'd love to hand those out as well. But we're doing some neat things. We're combining some evidence-based training, but also doing some, low barrier community events to just get people on board with having this conversation and hosting it in a really, safe, low barrier way. So there's a couple of trainings that are coming up, one in Dallas and one in Falls City as well. We also have a virtual training that folks can pop onto, and all of that lives on our calendar. So that QR code will take you right to our different training. If you're looking at this on a screen, it's a clickable QR code. If you're looking at it on the paper, you can just scan it with your phone. And those are some of the great events happening here in the month of May. We also have an applied suicide intervention skills training. We usually call that ASSIST. That's a bigger 2-day training. It really dives deep into these conversations. And that's happening in June at Western Oregon University. So I'd welcome anybody who's interested to check those out as well. Just continuing on the back, talking a little bit more about some of those community events. We have 2 really kind of unique and fun events happening in May. We have a mindful movement session that's going to happen in partnership with the Curves location in Monmouth to really talk about like the mind-body connection and how movement and exercise can really improve our mental health. And then we're also doing a craft night at the Sippery. The Sippery is a really awesome location in Monmouth. If you want to grab some really good food, some nice coffee, they have really great stuff there. And we're going to come and just have time together to work on some creative outlets. And then again, kind of talk about how that creativity and the opportunity to express yourself that way can promote mental health as well. So those are some fun events kind of happening around town too in the month of May. And then finally, we've partnered with Marion County to do a coffee sleeve campaign. So we have about 25,000 coffee sleeves that we're going to distribute to different local coffee shops across the region. So across Marion and Polk County, they're all going to have the same logo right there. You can kind of see the "It's okay to not be okay," and then a QR code that folks will get to a landing page right on our website that provides different resources, and then also talks about these fun events and things that we're having here for the month of May. So just a couple of community events and also training opportunities that are available this month that we're really excited about. Awesome. And then Nicole, were we able to pull up that those quick slides that I had, or if not, that's totally fine.
This is all I got.
Oh, perfect. No, that's great. So we just really are hoping to kind of share some of these things that are going on. I'd really encourage you, if you've never checked out the website, we're really trying to work on it. It's something that, if I'm being really honest, we kind of weren't keeping as up to date as we are really trying to now. We have a lot more capacity in this role specifically now, so we're able to work on some of that good stuff and keep folks a little bit more engaged and up to date on things that are happening. We also have a social media page, so if you're interested in following that and checking that out, all of these cool events and things happening will also be included on that page as well. So thank you so much for letting me just talk a little bit about May and the things that we're doing. I'm really excited and really encouraged at the partnerships that are here locally and then across our 2-county region of Marion and Polk.
I have 2 things.
Yes, please.
First, I don't want to seem corrective, but is Franks supposed to be spelled as Franks?
Sorry, let me just check on that.
It's Frank's, but it's no longer Frank's.
Oh, okay,
It's Fall City Market. They have new owners.
awesome. Well,
But-
yeah, we'll get that
I'll fix
updated for
that.
sure. Yeah.
Everybody still calls it Frank's.
Yeah, that
So-
was, yeah, my mistake. We were just talking about it and yeah, just kept that in.
And then on your assist training, so I see $75 there
Mhm.
for early registration.
Yeah.
Has that registration fee been a barrier at all to get people to, it seems pricey.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes we do have folks that will say, hey, I'd really love to attend. I'd love for my son to attend. And we have a really nice partnership with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention that's given us a couple of $1,000s in reserve as scholarship funds that we're able to provide scholarships for different agencies or organizations that maybe that fee is a barrier, but this is a really needed conversation. And so we're able to often provide some of those scholarships to help assist in that, not play on words, with that fee to be able to get as many folks to that training as possible. And then we always do offer QPR free of charge to anybody that ever asks for that particular training.
I'm gonna try to sign up for that.
Yeah, we would love to have you. That'd be great. Thank you. Awesome. Cool.
Well, Oregon, as you know, ranks very low in terms of high prevalence with low access to care for adults and children.
Yeah.
Literally at the bottom for adults and number 47th for kids. So these efforts are really, really timely. And I'm always curious, as somebody who grew up in an era where talking about mental health, especially for boys, was completely stigmatized. We were told to man up
Yeah.
and not ask for help.
Right.
That's changed tremendously. Just look at Fall Cities. I know you guys are involved in their dopamine dance. I mean, totally.
It's a new name.
Yeah. I like the original one, but identified by the students as a need because they're seeing it in their community. They're seeing mental health
Yeah.
going untreated and addiction going untreated, and youth are actually leading that charge, which I think is a transformational
Mhm.
thing. We just really need to support all of those efforts, and just if there's anything I can do to help reduce stigma, I talk about it a lot, but I know that's just half the battle. It's a cultural shift, and then we also need to actually make it available and make it part of the healthcare
Right.
continuum.
Right,
So
absolutely. We totally agree. And some of that's sort of our goal and our heart with some of these, community events too, is getting people at the table to just kind of talk about it, in a low barrier way that is comfortable and open and also includes some of these fun things that folks enjoy doing already. So,
yeah. What do you see? And with some of these events, you see people opening up about it, or people cautious, or what are you seeing?
we see both. We
Yeah.
see both. Sometimes we get really rich conversation, especially with some of these QPR, the question, persuade, refer trainings that are short, 1 to 2 hour training that we can bring to really almost anybody. We bring that down to the middle school level, all the way up to training, administration at our local hospitals. I mean, really that runs, agency and person spectrum, right? Anybody can participate. And we see some really neat conversations that come from that. One of the most powerful QPR trainings I ever got to see was with the transportation staff in the Salem-Keizer School District. We helped support some of that. And there were folks that said, nobody has ever talked to me about this. And yet kids come up to me and express some of these feelings on a regular basis. And I never knew what to do. And we had folks with emotional, emotional reactions to this training. And so that really encouraged me to say, this is a conversation that no matter who we're talking to, it can connect with them and they can take away bits and pieces to be a better ally in whatever space they may be, to just have tools for intervention can be really powerful. We equate it to CPR, right? Not many of us are probably going to do CPR on a regular basis, but it's still something that we try to have a lot of folks trained in just in case. And a similar concept, we use the same concept with QPR, giving us those tools for when we need it, then we can fall back on our training rather than scrambling to try to come up with the language or come up with the words to say. We can really, rest and know that we have these skills. So it's something we're really passionate about and really want to, spread across our county as much as possible.
I think that preventative strategy is supported by the data. I think suicides are down in Oregon, and one of the causal factors identified was prevention efforts. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I really
Y'all are saving lives.
happy to be here. Thank you.
As always, your team, the FCO is amazing. And we all love your enthusiasm. I mean, don't ever lose that. You excite us to get involved and take it to the next step. So good job. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you all so much.
Yep.
Appreciate it. And I'll leave these if anybody wants to know what's coming up.
And is there a need for executive session today?
Yes, sir. The board will now meet in executive session pursuant to ORS 192-660 sub 2D to conduct deliberations with persons designated by the governing body to carry on labor negotiations, and sub H to consult with counsel concerning the legal rights and duties of a public body with regard to current litigation